Greetings, beautiful people. This is Divine Akuwabi in my J. So I came for like a little message, and I don't know why I repeat things so much. That's the mommy always around. So, three things that I suggest when you are beginning your spiritual journey. So the three things that I suggest to start at when beginning your spiritual journey is first, solitude. Solitude is you being able to be by yourself. You can't really learn yourself or listen to your own thoughts when you're always around people. Now, we understand that people have to go to work, in order so they can, get their bill paid or whatever. But there's always a time for partying, and it's just like there's always a time for partying, there's also always a time for solitude too. We get racked up around, and always around people that, whether we know it or not, we get not attached, but we kind of bond with people when we get energetically, when we get around people, whether they're on a low vibration or a high vibration. So when you get in solitude and you get by yourself, you learn your own energy. You learn what you like, what you don't like. You learn about what it is you're going to accept and what you're not going to accept. When you're in solitude, you are able to establish boundaries, because we've all been there to where we've been around a friend group and we don't want to say anything because, oh my God, this is my friend, I can't say anything. But a good friend will tell their friend the truth. Okay, so let's be mindful of that. Another thing that I thought I had it in my notes. I have so many things that I put my notes in, but like I was saying, the other third thing is an ancestor altar. This is where I feel like everyone should start up. If you are going to work with spirits or deities, I feel like you should start with your ancestor too. And I feel like an ancestor altar is beneficial for you beginning your spiritual journey. It's where you can sit down and have your prayers. It's where, because they have an altar in church. That's where the preacher stands at. He stands at the altar in the church. So I know that some people look at altars as it being, I really don't know what people look at it. But, you have the naysayers. So, if people want to know about altars, there are altars in churches, okay? What the preacher stands at is an altar. And so an altar is for your ancestors. It's like for you to put pictures of your ancestors that have passed on. It's for you to be able to charge crystals, for you to be able to do your ritual work of healing. I'm not talking about trying to hurt anyone, but I do believe in defense and protection. So that's another thing that your ancestors are there for. They are your first line of defense. And then you have to really know what you're doing before you really get to working with different deities or different energies like the Orishas, the Loa. You have to do certain rituals in order to venerate them, in order for them to even be able to trust you, okay? A lot of deities and spirits do not trust humans. They don't, just because. We all know. So, the third thing that I would suggest while you are beginning your spiritual journey is shadow work. I know shadow work is something that people look down upon, but back to what I was saying about the ancestors right quick. So I believe that the ancestors live within us. I believe that when we all passed away, we live within our descendants. So that's another reason why it's very important for you to begin to work with your ancestors, because ultimately working with your ancestors is ultimately working with yourself. So back to the shadow work. So shadow work it's been thrown around a lot, and you hear a lot of people starting to, dive deep into their shadow work. And shadow work is pretty much accepting everything about you. accepting your flaws, accepting that part of yourself that that you try to hide, accepting all of the bullshit that you have put out, accepting situations for how they is, being able to be emotionally mature, being able to be mentally mature. Like, it's the first step in you getting all of that gunk and all of that hatred, all of that jealousy, all of that envy, just fixing these different traits that we have that are hidden, that lurk in the shadows, that keeps us from getting to where we need to be at in life. And so I feel like shadow work is the first step to you getting out all of that trauma, going within and working with your inner child, understanding why you do certain things that you do, and a lot of things that we do as adults, we get it from our childhood. Now, some things it's kind of like unbeknownst to us, because I didn't even know how important childhood was, and what you're taught in childhood, and the way that you believe certain things in childhood, even the way that you speak to yourself, in childhood. Those things play a role in your adult life and how you are going to go about life and communicate with people, how you treating people. All of those things come from our childhood. And so that's another place. Those are 3 places that I feel like you should begin at or I recommend that you begin at when starting your spiritual journey. It's different from everybody, but it's always going to turn you back to that shadow work, or if you going within, or you being able to be in solitude. When you become in solitude and you get by yourself, and you by yourself for a while, certain things it just don't matter anymore. Like pettiness is out the window, drama, gossip, all of those things. Money, you don't really care about like that, because you know that everything is spirit. Everything originates from spirit. Okay. Even our 3 bodies, even the dis-ease, it begins from our spirit not being in an alignment. And so, hope y'all are appreciating the content. I limited on where I share my energy, so I will only be on my podcast and on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe on both of these platforms, and let me know what you think about the comments. What are some things that you suggest or that you have done on your spiritual journey that you started off with? I hope that everyone is taking care of yourselves as usual. And until next time, gods and goddesses, peace.